All right, guys, check it out. What we got here today is a hydraulic lift table. So I got this table for free. It was actually used as a man lift at a facility, and it had railings around it. And I took those railings off and I grinded them smooth. So basically made it into a workbench, and it's 6,000 pound capacity. This is the controller right here. So it goes up pretty high. I actually never measured it. So that's the limit there. So let's see if I can. So it is on a 2x4. So let's say 49 inches. So let's say 48 inches. It's really about 48 and a half, 48 and 3/4 inches high, which is pretty sweet. So technically, I could put a car on this, like the Manx project that I got coming up, chassis, all kinds of stuff. So we are in the old shop, which we are moving out of here soon, and I am moving into the new shop, which I own, and I'm going to be sinking this baby into the floor. I think that'll be pretty cool. So we're gonna cut a big ass hole and dig it out, and I'm gonna make a metal frame to go around this bad boy, and we'll be able to set the frame in the hole, concrete it in, and I'll have bungs already welded on that frame, and we'll be able to just hopefully just when we bring this thing over, we'll just be able to set it in the hole and bolt it down. It'd be good to go. I'm gonna have a little PVC chase for the wiring, and I've got enough wire where I won't even have to do any rewiring. If I do, no big deal. But this looks like it's gonna be plenty, because this is gonna be about from, I guess, center to the wall is 15 feet. So I think I got plenty of cord. And we'll see how low this baby goes. Basically just letting the hydraulics out of the line here. I don't think those are double acting cylinders, so it's just using the weight to let it go down. Boosh. And then I have right over there a sheet of 4x8 sheet of 18 or 16 gauge stainless that I'm going to glue to the top, so it'll have a nice stainless steel top, and maybe I'll swirly grind it or something. It'll look really cool in the floor. And then when I want a table, or I need to lift something, or work on a lawnmower or motorcycle or anything, up out of the floor she comes. So one of my concerns was burying it in the ground too low, and then it not being flush with the floor, because I am going to be grinding the new floor, and I might grind a 1/4 inch off. So I lowered these stops down all the way, both of them, so it's as low as it'll go right now, and then that way I'll be able to adjust it up. So if it's a little low, I can just adjust those nuts and bring the table up 1/4 inch, 1/8 of an inch, whatever I need, so that it is nice and perfectly flush with the floor. So this is part one of doing this framework. I'll probably cover the frame in this episode, and then the next episodes will be us cutting the floor and doing the concrete work and all that. So let's do this. All right, so the plan is that I'm going to span over the top with a couple pieces of angle like this, probably 2 or 3 feet on each side, whatever I got left in my material over there, right there. And then that way, when all this frame is made, we'll be able to just set it in the hole. It'll be suspended by these 4 outriggers that it'll have, and it'll hold it perfectly in place. And then the plan is I'm going to make a frame of this metal going around like this, and we'll miter the corners, and I'm going to space it off. Not very much. I'm thinking like a 1/4 of an inch, something real tight. 1/4 inch, I think, is probably perfect. Probably could even go less since I'm gonna be making it right on here, but we'll go 1/4 inch, and that should be fine. And so we'll make a nice frame going around, and then we'll have some legs going down, and then some legs going over, and there's 2 mount holes there and 2 mount holes on that side, and we'll have some bungs pre-welded in. As a matter of fact, let me just grab them over here. This mess. So I got some of these guys around here, which we'll use. I made these, oh shit, I probably made these 15 years ago on my CNC lathe that I used to have. So we'll have a couple of those in the angle iron going along the bottom, and then we'll probably weld a bunch of nuts, or not nuts, but bolts to the bottom angle that's going to be buried in the concrete, and that way the concrete will have something to kind of bite to. And I'll maybe even get some re-rod, whatever you want to call it, to reinforce the concrete. We'll make a little frame of some re-rod running around in there too that'll get concreted in. So this thing will not go anywhere when it's done, because who knows what will end up lifting up on it. So all right, I've been rambling, so here we go again. Ooh, that's really close. I have the most crooked nose. Look at that thing. Anyways, so stay tuned. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode here. I haven't been doing any YouTube in a while. Just kind of got burnt out with it, and but I'm planning on coming back with a lot more here. And you'll notice when I'm filming that I'm always looking at the screen, but the camera is over here, so I really supposed to be looking here, and then it would look like I'm looking at you and talking to you directly, instead of like this, where it looks like I'm talking off to somebody standing next to you. So I apologize. It's hard to get used to that. But anyways, I'm Ramble City over here. So let's see real quick. This poor Lincoln really needs my love, but it's probably not going to get much until the new shop. Guess I need to set up some stands. Alright, I threw on a fresh blade, which I haven't had a new blade on here in probably 4 years. Let's see how this one does. Oh baby, look at that. That's how it's supposed to cut. Oh, like butter. Like butter. Hey y'all. So this is not your amateur saw here. I think I paid like $5 grand for this saw, maybe $4,500 back in 2004 or 5. I bought this when I used to make motorcycle frames. There's one of my old bobber frames up there, and I cut a lot of tubing with this thing, but nowadays not so much, but sure is nice. And this note I left myself here sure made changing that blade easy, because I'm about as forgetful as it gets. So there's a couple notes here. Left hand thread, because that's a real easy one to not realize, and you sit there reefing on something, and then you realize, oh shit, that sucker goes the wrong way. All right, well, first piece cut. This place is a mess, I know, but haven't been working on it here since moving into a new shop, so it's like whatevs. Huh, must be some stabilization control on this phone. It's like very interesting how it does that. It's like, it's not smooth. It's like, it locks it in. Here's a little trick for cutting angle, and since I'm doing a miter, I can't just put it in the V-block part and hold it like this, like you would normally cut angle. But since I'm doing like an outside miter, I'm just using another piece of angle I got clamped in here with it, so it kind of makes it like a box. And we'll just sacrifice that piece, and you can see how that. Oh boy. Well, that didn't work now, did it? We don't want nothing vibrating. It's actually not tight. Look at that. All right, because I'm doing an outside miter, and it just happened to be right just above the V here on the little V blocks. I had to put these flat plates in here to hold it flat. like that vibration. Not good on the blade, but cuts awfully fast. All right, I got the frame, the main frame, all done. I cut them a little bit short, so I got about a 1/16 inch gap there, which will be nice to weld that right up. And this is a 1/4 inch gap, which seems pretty big to me. So I might go down to 3/16. I don't know. I'm gonna sleep on that. But you can imagine this angle will be embedded into the floor, flush with the floor. And then the table will sit perfect with that. So then I'm gonna come down, I'll come down and then go over with some pieces with the threaded bungs in it. I'll lower it down so that it's exactly perfect. And then I'll just take that frame to the new shop and get it installed, get it concreted in. So simple fab job. This is like Fab 101. Big gas gap here. That's a solid 1/8 of an inch, which I can weld up no problem, but got a little carried away on my cut there. So if I did reduce this to 3/16, that would help with that. So I might have to ponder that a little bit because this 1/4 inch gap seems pretty big. But in the grand scheme of things, when you look back at it, it'll, picture that being in the floor. It'll almost just kind of blend right in. It's gonna be cool. So it's 10 o'clock after hours here at the shop. So if you like what's happening here, don't forget to check out part 2, maybe even part 3, as we move along here on the fabrication of this in-ground lift table. Peace.